to the Dual Force, where mental health and physical health finally stop being treated like strangers.
This is a podcast we wish we had earlier in our lives, built to save you time, confusion, and a whole lot of unnecessary struggle. This is a disclaimer. This podcast is here to educate, empower, and spark insight, but it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health care. Everyone's body and mind are different. If something resonated with you and you want individualized support, reach out to us or connect with a licensed provider you trust.
Welcome back!
Yay! Today, episode 2 of our mini-series.
Yes.
Asking for help.
Yeah.
But first, how are you doing?
I am here.
We've chatted a little bit before recording.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a long week. I think, like I was telling you, I think it's the excitement and just busyness of the week and just trying to manage through. Because Monday is just so exciting for us. So, be out of here.
Jetting across the ocean.
Tokyo, here we come. But I think that's why. So I'm looking forward to being done with work today and resting and sleeping in tomorrow and doing all the things that I need to get ready for our trip.
I love the self-care plan.
Yes.
And by the time this airs, you'll probably be back from Tokyo, but we're very excited in the moment right now.
Yes, we are.
We planned ahead.
We did because of said trip.
Yes, exactly.
How about you?
I definitely feel like it's been a weird week for me. More, I don't know. So, okay. Words are hard. I went to a conference in Nebraska over the weekend. It was called Women Who Rise, and it was the first time it had ever been put on. And it was super cool because this is a really small community in rural Nebraska that this woman grew up there. She moved away, discovered that she wasn't weird in how she felt about things, this is a quick synopsis. And then she ended up moving back, and she felt called to bring empowerment to women in this community, and which was super cool. And we had a somatic breathwork session after the conference, and I completely disassociated during that. And I've never had that experience before.
Interesting.
So I feel like I kind of have a hangover of sorts from that experience.
Do you feel like you're just trying to recover and recoup just from that experience alone this week?
Yeah, not even including travel and all of the normal stuff. I feel like I'm just trying to recover from having that experience.
Yeah.
And I know it was what the fuck? I know it was the first time that she'd done a group that large. I didn't feel completely supported, and having had that full disassociation experience, and then not also have support.
Yeah.
I feel kind of heightened that weird uneasiness. But we're working through it. I had therapy this week afterwards. It was good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So that's where you found your support, probably a couple of days later.
Now we have a code word, so I can just text her when weird things happen.
I love it.
Yeah.
You should have a good connection with your therapist. That's so positive that they want to know what's happening in your world outside of therapy sessions too.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I told her this happened. A few things happened during this. It was really good because it was a lot of getting into the body, self-reflection. But at the same time, wow, why did I have that thought? You can call me. I don't know.
Yeah. I had no idea. I didn't know.
And weirdly enough, this really ties in to our series because I told her, I said, I've always had a hard time asking for help. And I've gotten better, but I'm when I'm in a moment like that, I just default.
Yeah. Yeah, and dissociation is really hard because you're feeling you're above your body over here. You're just watching yourself, and that connection with your physical experience and being connected to your physical body is just not there. So I get it. It is hard sometimes to do that. Grounding helps for sure. And you should probably tell you that too. But yes, it does tie into our episode of asking for help. That's amazing. Look at you coming in hot with the experiences. I got something to share.
Why do I always have something to share?
Because it's important and people need to know, and we're real.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're not just sharing information, we're living the experience.
Yes, we are. We are. Yep.
But today we do want to talk about how to recognize when your body is asking for help. I had a presentation this week talking about my business and whatnot, and it was super cool. It was fun. But I highlighted the fact that we really don't listen to the signals our body gives us because for one, we're not very connected to our body. We're so externally focused on the people and things and experiences happening around us that we are missing these signals. If our body just talked to us in English, I think there'd be a whole lot less chronic pain.
It's all code word.
It is.
It's decoding what does that mean? It's making this noise, but I'm not really sure what that means. So
Beep, boop, boop.
yes. I think that even might be helpful too if it did make a specific noise. You're like, oh, that's coming from the stomach region of my body.
Like our cars. Our cars will make a noise and you can pretty much pinpoint where the problem is.
You're out for it. Like, oh, okay, it's that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not so much with our bodies.
Yeah.
It makes me think of there's a couple of different diagrams that we can share with you guys that talk about like chronic pain, but there's a chronic pain cycle and then there's a cup theory. And the cup theory is like if you put a cup under a faucet and you turn it on, the water in our lives that are filling our cup is like the expectations of other people around us and of ourselves, any mental distress that we're going through, any physical stress we're going through, even good stress is going to have an impact. And then we have, poor sleep, poor nutrition, or weird other things happening. And eventually that's going to overflow the cup if we don't take time to ground like into our bodies, rest. We talk a lot about how we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And usually when that cup overflows is when we have an injury. And then we realize, oh no, we've started the chronic pain cycle. But that's not really the case. The chronic pain cycle started way beforehand.
Before that cup got overfilled.
Yes.
And was pouring out.
Exactly.
And we are ignoring it. Yeah.
So being able to connect to our bodies.
Yes.
Mindful movement. It's important.
It definitely is.
Yeah. Feeling a little sassy today.
Spicy.
Understanding the signals our body sends us is going to be really important. And then also being able to ask for help for those things in our lives that maybe we don't necessarily think are a problem, but are going to contribute to something that does become a problem, like physical injury.
Right. Yeah, and that the physical injury is going to affect your mental well-being as well. And I think from the very beginning, it's something that's affected, right? Why are you continuing to ignore those signals that your body is telling you?
Yes.
Is it because you're afraid that someone's not going to believe you because of past experiences? Is it because those signals have been disqualified before by somebody in your life that you were very close to? So it starts and it's all connected.
Absolutely, which makes me think of the whole concept of building trust with yourself. If you're constantly ignoring or diminishing these sensations and emotions you're feeling, you don't have trust in yourself,
Right.
which can cause another whole problem.
Yeah, it can. We need to start there. You're the only one who knows what your body is experiencing because you feel it. Just because someone can't see it or doesn't understand it doesn't mean that they're right. We just have to keep looking for that person who's willing to provide us the support that we need, who hears us and saying, you know what, I don't feel it, but I believe you. Let's figure it out.
I think that's the biggest change.
Yeah.
I have a client who came to see me after having 3 major surgeries.
Wow.
Like relatively young individual, and I was brand new to doing pelvic health therapy, and that's what they were referred for. And I just listened to her story, and I was like, I think we can work on this and get you better. And she brings it up to this day of it was the first time I felt heard, and like cared for, and all of those symptoms that she was having have resolved. And I mean, we continue to work together, but
Yeah.
it's so important to find somebody you can trust in that way.
Yeah. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And how good does that feel to know that you put yourself in a situation to ask for help, or even hearing from your patient, you helped me so much because you heard me.
Yeah.
You know, it
feels so
empowers,
good.
it empowers both of you to continue.
Yes.
Like, okay, it's not a one and done situation, or I reach out to one provider and I'm stuck with them. No, you're not. You find what works for you. You know, just like you're in therapy, you found what works for you.
Yeah, 1000%. And I think that's something that we're learning more as millennials, or, you know, the bigger population as boomers are passing. But I feel like before we were just told, like, you have this one provider and you do whatever they say. Like, their word is scripture. Yeah. So I mean, you don't have to stay with anybody, especially those providers you see once a year.
Yeah.
We're going to keep bringing this up. Apparently, this is like a hot topic.
It is a hot topic, and we're trying to get that embedded into your mind that you're not stuck with anyone. But also to like piggyback off of that, if your provider is not helping with the chronic pain that you're going in for, go find somebody else.
Absolutely.
You know, go take responsibility of that. You know, if your provider is not willing to send you off to someone who might be a better fit for you, you do it, and that's okay. You can do that.
Absolutely. There's so many options out there, and it's super cool. I love like learning about these things, but maybe we can get into that as a whole topic for an episode another time.
Yeah, so many things we want to talk about. Clearly, got lots of things up here.
Yes, I'm so happy you're joining us for these conversations.
Yes.
These are conversations we just have on random patios. So, couches,
anywhere, grass, in the car.
We're really good at yapping.
We are. It's nonstop. It's funny because we have to schedule this very concisely because we know each other so well, and we're like, okay, we need 30 minutes to yap beforehand, at least 15 minutes to yap after our.
Yes.
So it's very important.
We're making it work, and I'm really proud of us.
You too.
But let's bring it back to our topic. So, when our body's trying to talk to us, I feel like using like working out is a good example. I am a firm believer that I can give you sets and reps, and you can get those from a coach, but like they don't know what you're experiencing. Like you said, like only you know what you're feeling in your body. And I like to recommend, if you start to feel fatigued, like tired, and you feel that you're changing how you're moving to complete the set, that's when you stop and you rest and you do it again. So having an understanding of what those signals are specific for you is a great place to start. And if you don't understand how that works, like you can always work with a provider. PTs do this all the time because we do a lot of rehab from injury.
Yeah.
So learning where your threshold is. I like to say we're ding-dong ditching pain.
I love it.
I've got a lot of fun phrases today.
You do. Absolutely. I'm thriving today because of your phrases. Anyway.
I'm so glad. So anyway, when you ding dong ditch, you go up, you press the doorbell, right? And then you run away.
Yeah.
So when you are working on an exercise or like range of motion, say it's so much easier with the elbow or like the knee, like you are bending your elbow and it feels fine, but straightening it out, you kind of get to a point where it hurts. And if you can push, but it hurts more, and you're increasing that pain level, then you want to get to the point like right when it starts to hurt, and then you back away. And then eventually you're building trust with your body, and your brain is building trust with that muscle again, not to reproduce that pain. That movement doesn't cause pain.
That's so interesting. And that's important to know because I think a lot of people just go in with this idea, this fixation of, okay, this is my workout routine for today, for instance, you know, and I have to do 3 sets of this one particular exercise until I'm fatigued or 15, whatever.
Right.
And then they miss that signal. Like, well, maybe you were fatigued by your 3rd, you know, set at number 8.
Absolutely.
And you're just pushing and pushing and pushing. Now, how is that going to affect your next workout?
Absolutely. And like if you're going to be in so much pain for like 2-3 days, maybe a week, you're not going to want to work out. And I really think like the all or nothing mindset that is pretty relevant and prevalent. And then also the thought that if there's no pain, there's no gain can be severely detrimental. I was a huge supporter of no pain, no gain for a long time, especially when I was experiencing chronic pain. So I was like, well, if it didn't hurt, then did I even do anything? And that's really kind of a problem.
I would say so.
Yeah,
And that's probably going to affect the next time you try to do that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to stay at the fatigue level.
Yeah.
Discomfort can happen occasionally. That's our body being like, hey, alarm bells.
Yeah. Don't push too much, but a little bit is
Right, like we're okay, but
Yeah.
like maybe we won't be for very long, or if we keep doing this. Because then if you push past discomfort is where you have pain, which could be an injury, it could just be so many different things. But it's causing pain and you're not totally sure what's going on.
Right. Yeah. And you should go ask for help and get it checked out just to know, just to have the information that you need in order to say, okay, I can still do this, but maybe not at the weight that I was or the repetition that I was doing, or maybe
Absolutely.
like changing the way that I'm doing this just slightly. Because I think otherwise, if you step away and avoid that thing, that might create some fear.
1000%.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, we've talked about this, like I've done exposure therapy with my clients, especially when it comes to back squatting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so like I'll work with them for 8 weeks usually on average, maybe longer. And they're like, I just like can't do this. And I'm like, have you tried it? They're like, no. I'm like, well, let's do it now.
Persistence.
But this also makes me think of the presentation I gave this week was to like 35-40 people, and I did polls, which was super cool. And one of the poll questions was, how long do you wait before you ask for help?
And what was the average?
I think there were 20 that said until it's unbearable. And to that I said, when you have an injury and you wait, you rest, you wait for it to just go away, however long you wait is going to take just as long to fully get back to where you were beforehand. Which the first time I heard that, I was like, whoa, that sounds really scary. That doesn't mean it's going to take that long to feel better. All that means is it's going to take that long to get you back to where you were before.
When you phrase it that way, it feels more encouraging. Like it's still possible to get there, and it's to be mindful. We talked about that too, of where your body is at and seeing the progress of going back to where you once were, getting at least close to it, if not, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there is hope to get back to that, which I think a lot of people lose. But if you think about it, you're losing that hope because you put yourself in that situation. Little tough love. I'm spicy today.
And you're spicy. I love it. And some people just need it. They need to hear that. It's motivating.
I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you ask for help more readily after an event, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get back to where you want to be and where you were, and then maybe even better than you were before, rather than just suffering.
Yeah. And you're gaining knowledge from a professional who knows different techniques and how to support in various areas versus what you only know.
Right.
Where not everyone is a professional in this type of, work. So
Yeah.
I think that's really helpful too, is like, okay, clearly I can't do it in a way that feels good for me, or I keep injuring myself, or I'm missing the signal. Let me reach out to somebody who knows more than I do and put my trust into that person to help me.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't work, there's always someone else.
Absolutely. And like physical therapists and other providers out there, I can only talk from a PT perspective, of course, but when we have that specialized training, like PTs are the musculoskeletal specialists in our healthcare system. So we're able to adapt to you. which I think is so important. Because if you're using Dr. Google or an AI to rehab yourself at home and save money, it's not going to adapt to what you're experiencing or even have a solid understanding of what you did or what has been impacted or what your compensation patterns are and how to correct that without, going way too far.
Right.
So please utilize somebody,
A physical being,
use
preferably
a human. Licensed provider is recommended.
Yeah. Dr. Google and AI don't have a physical body, so that should be something to consider as well.
Absolutely. And I think one of my favorite questions to ask people who use Google and AI and YouTube is, I'm like, how often does this injury come back?
That's a really good question. It goes away for a week and then it comes back.
Yeah. Or like you're good for a few months and then you're like, oh man, like that hurts again. Like you do those exercises or maybe they don't work as well the second time. And so utilize your resources.
Please
Ask for help, please.
Please do. It's recommended. Yeah. So in your work, how are you seeing people normalize like their own limitations when it comes to injuries and in like compensating for that?
Compensations show up all over the place. And I feel like a hot topic right now is, pelvic health therapy is getting a lot of news coverage, which is great.
It's wonderful.
Because something that has been normalized in our society is peeing a little when you cough, sneeze, jump, laugh. For mothers postpartum, but also it's something that is showing up in individuals who've never been pregnant because of the skinny fad. Sucking in your stomach, increasing pressure on the pelvic floor, you're weakening those muscles and its ability to tolerate changes. So that's like a compensation that you may not normally think of on the physical side, and especially from PT, but I wanted to highlight that. And then other things could be like post-injury of like your ankle with limping. I'm going to use you as an example if that's okay.
Do. That's totally fine.
So when you broke your ankle and you had surgery, what was it, 10 weeks that you were non-weight bearing? That's a really long time. And those muscles atrophied and you changed how you moved about your life for 10 weeks, which is crazy.
A long time.
It's a really long time. And then your surgeon was like, I want you walking again. And you're like, let's do it.
I forgot how to do that. Wait, I can do that?
Yeah. And then going from walking in a boot, which gives you more support, to walking without the boot. I remember I don't know where we were walking, but I was like, you need to shorten your strides.
Yeah.
You were trying so hard to go so fast.
I know. It's like, I can do this. And it's incredible because after you pointed that out, I was like, oh my gosh. First of all, what's the urgency? What am I trying to run to?
Nervous system.
Yeah. Thank you, nervous system. You work too much. And then, just not, my brain was saying, oh, you can do it. But my body was like, but we can't quite do what we used to do.
Right.
Not that we're not going to get back to that, but right now, girl, no, not happening.
Right. Absolutely.
So that because you said that, I was able to remind myself, oh yeah, shorter strides. And that felt so much better. And my right leg wasn't compensating so much for this left leg.
Right. And probably in all those transitions, you probably experienced some hip discomfort, low back pain, because we're just literally changing how you normally move, which in the long run is going to help you because you needed to heal that ankle. You needed the surgery to make sure it would heal. But that doesn't change the impact that all of those transitions had on you physically.
Right.
And mentally.
Right.
Which the mental component to injuries is so massive.
Yeah. That was weight bearing too. For my whole entire body. That was just and you know me, I am a person that is go, go, go all the time. I am involved in as much as I could possibly be involved in. Physical activity is very important to me. So the fact that I went from engaging in a physical activity, broke my ankle, and having to sit on my booty for X amount of months was very difficult.
Yeah. And I just had this thought. I hear this a lot, or I've heard it before, and it's like when you have an injury that forces you to slow down, it's like the universe telling you need to slow down.
That is the message that I took away from this injury.
And then my other thought was that if this hadn't happened, I don't think the Dual Force podcast would exist.
That's so true.
Because we've talked about this for years.
Yes.
But we both are all in everything.
I know. And I love that, you know, we were able to sit down at that brunch and like, okay, let's put it on the schedule. Let's do it, you know. And you're right. Because of this, I was able to be intentional with that and put that into, you know, to focus. Like, that is important to me. I do want to spend time with you. I do want to share our knowledge with people who are wanting to listen to us and hear what we have to say.
Yes. Yeah, I love it. I cried again. Except this time for happy emotions rather than laughing. But all that to say, like, when you're experiencing big transitions or changes in your life that's impacting you physically, and if you don't have somebody that is helping you along in this process that has more knowledge of like how the body works and the physics of stuff, I think that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I can nerd out on physics of the body all day long.
I love it.
But if you're just trying to do it on your own, or you're using Google, or this is a good one. If you've ever watched House, and Dr. House has a cane, he uses it on the wrong side, which is putting more pressure on that bad leg than if he was to use it on the other side, because that's just physics. Except I will say the amount of people that I can just like see out in the world that are using their assistive devices on the wrong side, or using it weirdly, like crutches you're not supposed to lean on. They're not supposed to be up in your armpit. They're like 4 inches below. Like it's weird. Like these little things that are
don't do that.
Recent experience.
Yeah. I didn't know how to use crutches. Anyway.
I think I adjusted your crutches too.
You sure did. And I sewed some cute patterns on the padding because I was like, these are ugly.
I love it.
And I put cushion in it under them too to support.
But anyway, if you don't have a friend that's a PT, you should get one.
You should get one. You would be, you need one. We all need one. Thank you for seeing my PT friend.
I know, I got you. At least have somebody in your life, whether you are seeing them professionally or they're in your circle beforehand, to help you through those physical transitions and help you understand your body.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
And they love when you ask for help. So
They do.
Please
They do.
give them that satisfaction.
And they're like, actually, they do. And don't be afraid to ask. Even I just thought of this, your little nugget of knowledge that came up. Even like on some Facebook forums where there's a community of individuals with, you know, all types of different backgrounds, reaching out in that way too is totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times they'll point you to the right direction. So
1000%. There's some really big ones here in Denver. I mean, it's so cool to kind of see people rally or support providers that they've utilized themselves, which is really fun.
it is. It's a nice community to have. But
Yeah. Well, until next time, we'll see you for our 3rd episode of this mini-series of Asking for Help.
Sounds good. See you then.
Thanks for tuning in to The Dual Force. Your mind and body are always in conversation, whether you notice it or not. Start listening. And if today's episode sparked something in you, pass it along to someone who needs that reminder.